What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Arche Wielders. I'm your host, Grimzenta, and today I'm joined by my other host, I Am Fortress. Maze Ultor will be joining us a little bit later. He had to go do some shopping, so he'll be in a little late. But I want to thank you guys for being here. I do apologize for missing the last 2 weeks. Haven't exactly been feeling myself. Been trying to get things going, trying to get myself together, just trying to get back in the groove. So I do apologize for that, for missing the last two episodes. I do also apologize for getting that episode from 2 weeks ago uploaded late as well. I'm going to try to do better to get back on a better schedule. I did take a look at the numbers. We are looking pretty good on the downloads for the stream, for the podcast itself. So those numbers have got me pretty pumped. They're looking pretty good. And so it's keeping me hopeful for the future and where this is going. Just need to basically promote a little bit more. So if you guys want to do me a solid and share the podcast, share the stream as much as you can, get it out there, let your friends know, let their friends know, and we'll be sitting pretty. Today, I do want to talk about, of course, Ultimate Freyna. That'll be coming here in almost a day. So it should be dropping on Thursday, along with a new Colossus and some other updates as well. So if you guys aren't tracking, there will be a maintenance update starting tomorrow evening, and then it'll be going until Thursday morning. So if you guys are on at that point, try to knock out what you can until then, and just be ready to be kicked off the servers if you're still playing. But I do want to take a second and check on the peeps. How you been doing, Fortress? How's your day going?
I'm good, man. I had a extremely easy day at work. I was feeling productive today, getting it done. Been playing a lot of that Throne and Liberty game.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
oh, yeah.
Been kind of back to back and like bouncing between First Ascendant and this, which has been a super healthy mix for my gaming. Like I've had like a really good time as far as games are concerned right now, which is really sick. I know before these two games came out, I was in some crazy lull where I couldn't figure out what I wanted to play, or I would play something and it just wouldn't seem fun. So now these two have really kind of filled up a void for me. So I'm doing, as far as gaming is concerned, man, I'm fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's always good to hear. Because I'm kind of in the same boat myself. I know before these two dropped, I wasn't really in limbo. I was definitely still on the Halo train. Wanted to take a back seat, still doing my Pokemon thing, working on my decks. But I was definitely about to start up my Mass Effect playthrough for the year again, which I need to hop back on that. Hopefully, I'll find some time soon after getting Ultimate Freyna and getting her where I want her. And then I know that the DLC for Starfield dropped, Shattered Space, so I definitely still need to check that out, as well as the DLC for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, me too.
Checked out. So,
Starfield was a sick game, and I don't actually think I finished the campaign all the way through. I think I'm like at the end.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I need to pony up and do that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people didn't. It received a lot of hate because they said that it felt empty, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. But for me,
sure.
I enjoyed it. Then again, I think someone pointed out for me, I forgot who it was, that Starfield was just scratching an itch for me. It was basically that Mass Effect itch, because I'm waiting for the new one, and it'll be a very, very long time before I get it. So, but I mean, it was doing it for me. I was still enjoying it enough to want to try out the DLC, and I definitely plan to, especially with the DLC being available through Game Pass. So that'll be nice. So I don't have to go out there and pick it up for however much it's worth. So yeah, but with these two games here, the Throne and Liberty, Throne and Liberty and First Ascendants, myself, I've been bouncing back and forth between the two of them. I gotta hop on here, knock out a few levels, knock out the invasion missions, and hop back over to Throne and Liberty and level up through there. We've been having a hell of a time with that. If you guys haven't checked that game out, please do. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to get into it as much as I'm into First Ascendants, because shooters are definitely kind of my wheelhouse. Kind of definitely like where I like to be. So this is my cup of tea. It won't be taking second seat. It won't be taking sidebar or anything, it'll always be there as my number one. So you guys can definitely continue to expect First Ascendants content from me. I'm hoping to get out more stuff from there. But speaking of more First Ascendants, how you liking the Ultimate Freyna skins and how she's looking? Nexon's they need to chill with these videos, man.
Hey, man.
They need to chill.
Hey. I don't have mommy issues. Everyone else does.
Yeah,
Okay?
it is. There it is.
That's where I'm gonna leave that. Okay. That promotional video, okay, was 15 seconds of greatness. Okay, and opening up with that absolute backbend. I was having problems. I was at work.
Yeah, I was at
issue.
work. My voice
At work. It was a Monday. I was like, nah, no. The sun was shining, and my brain was dark.
I mean, I'm not watching the video on repeat right now on the Twitter page, so but you guys are.
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, it's there.
You know.
But no, man, I'm so stoked for Freyna. I've been wanting to do a build with her for a while. I didn't know when I'd get an ultimate, and to be honest, to hear that we're getting an ultimate so soon for her is nice. I know a lot of people have been working on their builds for her. For me,
she recently got that buff, and it's really changed the game with people starting to make builds for her, and I think they intentionally did that to pave the way for the ultimate, and it fucking worked.
It did.
You know what I mean?
It did.
They didn't miss.
No, and I'm happy about it. I wanna invest in Freyna just as much as everyone else is, but to me it feels like a waste of crystallization catalysts, a waste of energy activators, a waste of, to be honest, like a little bit of time. So I'm kind of like letting everybody else do their builds. That way I can go through and kind of like pick and pull what I like from everyone else's. I think it was it last week that I saw someone streaming it, and whoever they were playing with had a gnarly Freyna build. I ended up joining the Discord, and they shot me their mods for that. So I'm excited to see where it's going. I'm excited to see what her ultimate mod is. That's going to be nice to see.
She has, well, yeah, the specific one. I think they said there's going to be 2.
That's even better. So yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes. Ready to finally put the Python and the what was the other gun?
Fallen Hope.
Fallen Hope to use. Ready to start grinding those guns. So yeah, just stoked. And we talked about it, I want to say a couple episodes back, about them changing like the home area. Not getting a new one, but changing the home area to fit holiday things, and that we wish they'd put holiday themed things in the game. And they kind of listen to us without listening to us, unless they are. If you guys listen to this podcast, it's fucking amazing. I love it. If you aren't, good kudos on being psychic, because I'm looking forward to the Halloween update that is going to be coming to First Ascendants and Albion, because it looks cool. It looks like it's going to be a whole lot of fun, because they're bringing Halloween emotes, Halloween themed cosmetics. I'm hoping that they also do it to the maps as well. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. If it's just Albion, that's fine. I'm cool with that. It's just nice to see that you guys are investing in the game as much as you are. But what about you, man? Anything that you're super looking forward to outside of Ultimate Freyna?
I'm already looking beyond her.
Okay.
Where I sit with it is, like, my excitement for it has passed because it was already announced and I know what's coming. Obviously both of the skins dropped, and that's what you want to see and that's what you want to do. Freyna wasn't a character that I ever focused on. She was a 40 and out for me. I have been seeing some insane builds, even like TikTok and everything like that. I've been seeing insane builds, which I've been trying to send to you. And now I'm looking at the horizon. You know what I mean? What's next? What comes after this? New boss battles coming out, and nobody in here knows my anguish with gluttony, but boy, howdy, it happened. And now, the new boss is going to come out, and I'm anxious to see. Okay, what's the next move? Are we gonna start putting out content for the new season? Are we starting to put out teasers? Is it a hype train now? Um, is there going to be maybe some surprise that they have left for this season that they're going to hit us with at the end? To be like, hey, here's your holdover content for the next season. They're going to jump directly into promoting the newest one. Is there going to be, with all these Halloween things that are coming out, is there going to be, say, a Halloween themed event that's going on? Maybe, some kind of, maybe there's a difference in, like, maybe you go to the waves and maybe it's all like Halloween zombie fucking themed, or maybe there's some other kind of way that they're implementing the holiday and the event into it. Seeing what else they're gonna do.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I can definitely
Yeah,
see how you're wanting to look forward to that stuff. Um, it's nice.
I already want to know who the next Ultimate is.
Yeah. Yeah. That to be
Do they
honest,
go with the
super
popular
curious.
demand? Do they go
Hmm.
with popular demand? Is it going to be Haley already because she turned into such a fan favorite so fast? Do they continue with the characters they already have? Do they disappoint everybody and say we have a Luna Ultimate coming next? Do they?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
are they going to go from there? And you know, do you continue to capitalize the way that you have, or do you maybe sort of have a die down period and see what happens when things aren't rolling out day after day after day? Do you try to see how long you can stretch your time periods for dropping content to, you know, maybe maximize productivity on their end?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, we're never going to be happy with the, you know, with the time gaps between content drops. We want them pretty much immediately, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they took a little bit of time to play with how long until we start seeing a significant maybe player drop. Um, until we see a significant player drop, um, and maybe that gives them more of an idea of, okay, we have this long in between stuff to where we really start to take notice that people are starting to drop off the game,
Mm.
because of the lack of new things dropping. So maybe that gives them a good gauge on how long they have to put out new content. Um, and then it's a double-edged sword. It sucks because then you're waiting longer for content, but at the same time, is with the way that they're going, it's probably going to be more quality content given the time frame. So
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Um, I hope that is the case, the quality content, because I would much rather wait for quality content and more content than to get little bits and pieces of things that aren't good, or them just try to please the masses, just release as much as they can whenever they can. Um, so I'm a more of the fan of waiting, uh, especially with how things are going, since we have a good understanding of how the game functions now, giving us the time to level up, get our descendants where we need them to, because of how long it takes to crystallize, how long it takes to grind for the crystallizations and the energy activators, and grind for those levels, and grind for the weapons. Like that stuff takes time. So it'd be nice
mm-hmm.
to have a little bit of a lull to knock that stuff out, especially with the new ultimate coming in. And like Haley, like a lot of people, like myself, didn't purchase Haley. So like we're just now unlocking her. So we still need to get her up to par. Um, and we still have Christmas coming around. And since they did a holiday theme, Halloween themed version of Albion for the game, and Halloween themed emotes and cosmetics, I'm expecting Christmas themed as well. So like snow emotes, snow and Christmas Santa themed cosmetics, like and snow all around Albion, just sort of make it snowy. Like that's what I'm looking forward to, and I think that's where we're coming, and that's kind of like my expectation now that they did a Halloween one, and I'm hoping that they decide to go that route as well, only because I enjoy a good snowman, like
I'm a
Fortress.
sucker for a snow map, so
So
I
yeah,
I agree.
so that's what I'm hoping that they decide to do. We got about 57 days left in this battle pass. So for season one, this will run its course probably a little bit into November. It'll end. We'll get a lull there, and then Christmas will come around. They'll drop an update out for that, or a maintenance, or a patch, or something. And I think that's when we'll get the ice gun that they were talking about that I can't remember the name of. Frost something? Frost Watcher? Frost Walker? I can't remember the name of it. But there was another ultimate weapon that was announced whenever they announced season one, and we still haven't gotten it yet. And I think that's probably when they'll release it, only because it makes sense in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what they'll plan on doing to release it along with that, because I think that they'll have to release something else to tide people over other than a new gun. So
I think, and this is just kind of what I'm hoping for at this point, is I hope that with the new season, not only do we get an ultimate, which should be planned with the characters that already exist, I would like to see probably something of 3 new descendants, just standard regular descendants. I think I think that would be a smart move. If you're just playing seasons now with the characters you have available, and you're waiting a season for an ultimate, I think that trend is going to become stale in the same way that the events for, like, say, Halo Infinite have become stale. I'm waiting these 2 or 3 months for a set of armor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now it's like, do I even like that set of armor? Is it even worth what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You have people that want to get their mastery maxed out. You're going to need new descendants for that, and dropping 1 ultimate per season isn't exactly kind of scratching that itch. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, mastery doesn't do a whole lot for you, but it's a good little calling card that if I see mastery when I'm in, like, a boss battle or something, I'm like, you are a competent player. You know what you're doing.
Yes.
You have time certainly invested in this. You know what I mean? You're not a mastery 16 and you've been sitting at level 40 bunny because you don't understand how to crystallize.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know at that point you've actually, you put forth the grind. So I think releasing something of around 3 standard descendants is fair. I think 5 is asking a little bit much. I think dropping 1, I would be a little bit disappointed, because God forbid you don't like that one either.
Yeah.
And I think 3, you add the variety aspect to it. So now you quite possibly have dropped, a descendant. At least one of those descendants is going to be somebody's cup of tea, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think, because most of these descendants aren't amiss. SMO has his place. I learned how to use him. It's kind of all right. Luna, there's not a huge base of them, but the people that I see with them are committed. Kyle, same thing. Not a ton of them, but the people that use him are committed. So I think dropping a standard number of 3, and their differing descendants with different elements, I think will peak at least one of those descendants is going to hit for every single crowd. And I think it's a fair number to go off of, and then you have an ultimate. So then at that point, it doesn't matter what your ultimate is, because somebody could be like, okay, I want that just to have the ultimate. Like myself, I just want an ultimate roster. But at the same time, now it's like, okay, Freyna's not really my kind of character. I don't really care for her moveset and things like that. But, this other character dropped, and, like, he seems kind of cool, so let me see what I could do with this build.
Right.
Or this character over here maybe has a different sort of element. Let me see how she plays out. Maybe her abilities just look cooler to me. It doesn't even have to be effectability. It could just be that they look dope. And I think that's something that they could really, really benefit off of. Maybe not every single season. I think you'd be asking a whole lot there. But I think every other season, dropping another, like, 3 characters, or if they're feeling froggy and they have the ability, nobody would complain about 5. You know what I mean? But I think 3 is a nice, easy number to hit. They have the content to do it. There's so many players throughout the story that you can't play as yet that I think it's very simple to do for them. I think they already have the character designs, and I think they've already thought about this. I'm just waiting to see the execution.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I definitely agree with you on the releasing of multiple characters now throughout the seasons. I'd probably say more. I can agree with 3, if not 2. But the 3 definitely hits. It'll definitely guarantee that everyone will like at least one of the characters that you drop. 2 is pushing it that way, but 3 definitely opens up that variety there, and I'd be okay with that. To be honest, I would be, if they decide to go this route, I'd be okay with, say, 2 new characters and an ultimate of one of the
Sure.
previous characters, or 3
Sure.
characters and an ultimate. So therefore, you're releasing 4. And to be honest, like at that point, if you can release 3 plus an ultimate, you don't really have to do too much of a rework of one of your characters
Mm-hmm.
because you already have the designs. You're just layering it at that point.
Exactly.
So
And now you're stretching the longevity
Mhm.
of your ultimate drops.
yeah, so I'd be okay with that, especially with the help with the mastery. Um, I think that maybe
Nexon, if you're listening, give me number 17, please. Make him stealth. He's so cool. I need it. I need it in my bones.
I want what's his name back. Like if they decide to bring him, just give us him as a character. Dude, that was
Alpha?
No, that turned on us. Jaber. No, not Jaber.
No.
No, God, what was his name?
It starts with a J.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah. If they gave us Jeremy as a character, I'd honestly
That
be pretty happy.
teleporting motherfucker?
Dude.
Cool as hell.
Raising
mayhem.
He's a shit, but
His moveset was sick.
Yeah, so I'd be okay
Give
with
him
doing that.
give him a cooler suit, except for that standard Albion uniform, and you got it. You got it right. Everybody, it was unanimous. That cutscene of his powers was so sick.
It was dope. So, like, if they decide to do that, bring in new characters, bring in new guns. To be honest, if they're going to start bringing, I want them to bring in new weapons, but I think I don't want them to bring in new ultimate weapons. So I want them to bring in new standard weapons. Only just to mix up the variety. Because I mean, yeah, it's cool to have ultimates, but at some point, like you want to mix it up. You don't want to have to always grind for an ultimate. I want to see them put in new standard weapons, new purples, new blues, new commons, all that kind of stuff. And then I honestly wouldn't mind like a seasonal, monthly, part seasonal rotation of what weapons spawn or what weapons get dropped in certain areas. Just to mix up the variety of stuff, because a lot of people, like, they don't, especially for us that have already played the main game or played the story, played the campaign, and now we're at the end game, we are running missions to grind for stuff. So it'd be a nice little what's that, as we're picking up weapons, instead of just being like, we know what we're getting every time we drop, so we're just going to go ahead and delete it.
Yeah.
It just gives
maybe even just change around the missions that do what. So like how we're constantly running Borderline of Truth to get brains.
Yeah.
Switch it up. Now it's on Fortress, and it's a completely different one. Or maybe now your polyatomic ion particles for your energy activators. Okay, now those are on Kingston. It's a little bit simpler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or lower and up the capacity that you get from each one. So maybe, instead of, one anode ion particle, per mission, okay, maybe now you're walking out with like 14.
Exactly. Yeah, I would appreciate that heavily. And I mean, it's not a do or die. It's not something that has to happen. It just brings some variety to the game. And of course, we want a new area. We want a new social area, and I think I think we'll get there. I don't.
Maybe not even a new social area, but I mean the main area where you spawn in Albion, like there's a door in the back. Like maybe just expand Albion, make it bigger.
I think that they have
there's a bridge over here that you can't walk across. There's that giant building area across on the mountain. I think there's so much room to expand it.
Yeah, And to be honest, like they've surprised us so much with a lot of the things that they've done, a lot of things that they've done, a lot of things that they're doing. That I I agree with you that I believe that they've already thought through this. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they decide to bring to the table. Um, we can talk about what we want to see all day long, but I'm starting to think that they already have a game plan, other than just testing out what people like and
Hmm.
dislike. I think that they have a roadmap, and they're just making tweaks and minor adjustments here and there based on the player reviews and the commentary from the player base and
Yeah,
what
I
and
agree
who's
with
still
that,
playing.
but also
So
the tidbit too of what we've talked about, a bunch
hey, what's up,
before.
Christopher?
They're playing their game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they have to be playing.
They're obviously playing their own
Yeah,
game, so there has to be a good amount of devs that are like, hey, a new social area would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Or like,
hmm
I want to see this. This is the experience I want out of the game. So when I get to work tomorrow, let me start working on that. You know what I
hmm
mean? Like maybe let me see, like, oh, maybe let me. Well, his name's probably not fucking Greg because he's Korean, but like, let me go talk to fucking Greg down the hall and be like, hey, dude, want to be really fucking sick and this is your department? Like, what if we, did this type of area? Or maybe we expand Albion a little bit. It doesn't have to be, massive, but doing an extra area the same size as what we have
hmm
probably doesn't sound extremely complicated.
No, I agree with that. I mean,
You're using the same backdrop, you're using the same elements that you have. All right, let's add like one big ass room with three other small rooms, and maybe there doesn't even have to be any other components to it. You don't need another training area or anything like that, but maybe that's where this new trader that they're implementing, maybe that's where he hangs out at.
right?
Maybe there's new side missions and that's where the NPCs are hanging out that you got to talk to, or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Maybe your inversion reinforcement stuff, maybe it levels up, and just like the prime hands that you have to go into and you get that cutscene for your mastery rank, maybe you go into another machine in a different room and you get a dope cutscene for your inversion reinforcement getting leveled up higher
yeah,
or something like that. Like maybe there's something to that.
yeah. So I wholeheartedly agree. I'd love to see. Look, to be honest, I'm just excited to see what they come up with because we're what are we partway halfway through season one, so we're what almost done.
We are at,
We're at 57 days. How many was
yeah,
that? Like 90 some odd days
two
to start.
months.
2 months.
2 months. Yeah,
Yeah,
we got 2 months left.
yeah. So and to be honest, at the rate we're playing, like that's gonna fly. So
Yeah,
I'm excited
yeah.
to see. I just want to see what else they're gonna give us, what else they're gonna add in, because like the little uh, the energy activator and the crystallization catalyst that they added in at the end of the battle pass here, like that was super nice of them to do. Like I want to see what they decide to come up with for the next time, or the Freyna volts that they did. Like
It
that
was
one.
such a small thing too,
hmm
and it was just so well received.
Yeah. So
You know,
uh, yeah, I got no more other words other than just
even
excitement.
even the small, like, I haven't seen it happen in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but even just the small, the little fucking where they just drop you a couple random cosmetics in the mail, like stuff like that is really quality live service stuff. And us as players, it's not even something that you expect because every other company is doing the latter. They're not giving you shit for free just at random. Oh, hey, surprise! Like, here you go. Thanks for playing our game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And little things like that. Like, I haven't seen that in a while. So, like, if one of those were to pop up, I'd be like, oh shit, this game's dope. Awesome. Gonna keep playing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
little little community service tidbits like that, I think
Yeah.
are really, really helpful to their cause.
Yep. I agree. And the name of that ultimate weapon, the ice one, is called Frost Watcher, which, from the way that the page is looking on their Twitter page, it might be dropping on the 10th.
Is it?
It might be from because like they have like preview like pictures of the descriptions of the weapon, and then they have a preview picture and description of the new Colossus. and they're kind of like one after the other. And we know that we're getting that on the 10th.
Uh-huh.
So we might be getting Frostwatcher as well, which would be pretty cool. And I think I'm all right with it. I'd kind of prefer to like wait for it to drop during the Christmas time, but especially with the design that's on it. But I mean, maybe they got something else planned.
I'll take a little dive and see what happens.
All right with that.
Let's see.
Check out.
Not seeing anything as far as a date.
Check out First Ascendant alerts here. Yep.
My Google just keeps transferring me over to Frostwalker.
No. Checking it
The
out.
Descendant Scout Rifle.
But, yeah, man. What do you think of the new Colossus?
I already hate it.
I already hate it.
I already hate it. Dude.
I mean, I tried out
Gluttony. It took me so long to kill Gluttony. It took me so long.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where, like, you have to know the mechanic. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's cool. I like that if you're playing with a dedicated group of people and you start to understand the mechanic. And this guy just walked into Albion and his name is Laughing Kamala. Oh my god.
That's amazing. Amazing.
It depends on how the mechanic goes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to see something happen that's a little bit more. You know, like I like that each one has a mechanic, and they're all very smart. And it's also extremely slick of them to not tell us shit about the mechanic existing until we figure it out on our own.
Right.
Good for y'all. But also, I'd like to see something a little bit different than just excuse me, than an asinine health pool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I sound like one of the dudes in like, you know, these Elden Ring fucking superior race chuds. But yeah, it's just something more than just a bigger health pool. I think would be very cool. Like, he can only be damaged because of this mechanic. You know what I mean? I'm not just sitting there holding my right trigger and reloading and like hoping we do the mechanic in time to get him out of rage or to keep from everybody being annihilated in one shot. Like,
yeah,
I'd like there to be some other sort of stipulation. Like, he's only damaged because of this mechanic, or this mechanic happens and you get maybe transferred to another area where he's less Colossus and more vulnerable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of there being a rage mode, you have to do certain things that make him more susceptible to damage instead of he has an invulnerability period. Stuff like that, I think, would be a small little tweak implementation that could make more Colossi in the future feel a little bit more fun, and it maybe not become a stale experience too quickly.
Right. And I'd be okay with that, yeah. The S9 health pool and just the standard mechanics that we have going on in the game. Because I mean, if you look at all the different mechanics that we have, not a lot of them are too different from one another. So just adding in something new just to shake things up and to bring in more teamwork and more cooperation amongst other descendants would be nice. There'll be growing pains, of course, because not everybody's going to know what to do. You're going to have people in there that got there because they were carried, and now they're looking for another carry. So there'll always be that aspect, which is fine. But getting something new, it will definitely be fun. So looking forward to what they decide to bring in and what this Colossi quirks are.
Yeah, I think a new area is probably like the biggest name of the game right now. I think out of all the things that we just talked about today, I think a couple new areas is big for that.
Yeah.
Just specifically because, I mean, I understand we got all of the areas for the preseason, and then we've maintained the same areas throughout the first season. So I think that's enough time um, to start implementing maybe a new area. I would say something of at least 2 new areas, and then having those levels feel more fresh. Maybe some of the levels get a little bit of a rework, a tweak. So now you're not like, I know everywhere that I need to be. Maybe some of that changes. You know, just changing around a couple of spawn points. Keeping everything in the same location, but flipping the map around would throw people off almost entirely. Like, you'd understand it backwards, but at the same time, you're like, what the hell? Like, it's not the same one. And then maybe, you know, you have the original map data, and then the new map data just randomly spawns. So maybe you don't know exactly what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
Maybe change the locations of the waves. Change, you know, maybe this one's now not at Grand Theater in Kingston. Maybe now this one's at the Destruction or something. You know what I mean? So now the experience, even particularly with waves, I know already to me feels a little bit stale. I'm doing the same thing every single time in the same exact areas. Okay, you know, you don't even have to put it on a new map. It could be on the same one. You just change what area on these massive maps is happening. And I think it's quick little tweaks that can keep it fresh without really expending too much effort.
Very much. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hopefully they hear us. Hopefully that maybe this is in their plans. Maybe this is something that they're wanting to implement themselves and just try to either figure out a way to do it or just waiting for the right opportunity, or maybe they're waiting until season 2 drops. But we'll just have to see. But I think that's all the information that we're talking about today. At the end of every episode, I like to go over like goals and what we have planned to do within First Ascendants. If we plan to commit as much time, if we are splitting it up again through Throne and Liberty, who knows? I may bring up Throne and Liberty content as well, just to see how well it goes. Just to see if you guys, if that's something.
Now that I have my camera working, I'm gonna. Well, I wanted to stream it the other day, but now that I got my camera working, I'm definitely gonna stream it for sure.
No, definitely. I mean,
I've been getting lost in that fucking game.
It might be more up your alley than mine, to be honest. So, like, I mean, first things, like I said, shooters and everything.
Yeah.
But I know, like, but this Throne and Liberty is definitely like more of your cup of tea, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so, for sure.
I enjoy it.
You know how I am with like Baldur's Gate, and like I like Dragon Age, and you're not the biggest fan of Dragon Age. You know what I mean? Like I was a big Skyrim fan. Like the dragons and magic and knights and swords and stuff. It definitely is like it's the big itch scratch for me, which is weird because I'm more of a Star Wars fan than I am a Lord of the Rings fan. But at the same time, it's like, you know, and like Halo's my favorite game of all time. So you'd think like sci-fi is still pretty high on the list, which I mean I love First Descendant Beyond Words. I think it's fantastic, and it's just shitting on everything on the market right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Throne and Liberty scratches an itch for me for sure. It just looks so cool. I'm more so impressed. I'm impressed with the servers, man. Spawn into an area with 1,000 people in T-minus 5 seconds, and the map is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And you could just walk to the other end with no issues.
Yep.
I think that's one of the big things that keeps me on it is that it looks so good, it's so fucking big, and there's no issues, no loading issues, no graphics issues, nothing. So that's kind of my main hook on it, as well as the fantasy aspects. But it's the same thing with First Ascendant, dude. You know, you have so many people in a fucking server, and the game is huge. Yeah. And like, there's always like a couple of like shader and like rendering issues that like pop up in the first couple of seconds of Throne and Liberty, but I've never had anything last longer than 50. I've never had anything last longer than maybe 15 seconds before that it then renders in at full graphic quality.
Right.
I don't even think I've had something like that in First Descendant, period.
I've had that on First Ascendants when I played on my PC. Ever since I've been playing on my Xbox, no, not really. I haven't had that issue at all.
Yeah. I've
So,
never had a render issue. I've never had anything look like it was still trying to load in or it was slowly loading in as I was getting to it. Like,
mm-hmm.
as far as an Xbox Series X is concerned, I've never had any sort of issue with that, which is, again, equally, it's just so impressive to see.
Yeah.
The graphic quality and the ability of these servers to hold up what's going on when you could play a game like fucking COD and I have no footstep sounds and I'm falling through the map and that building looks like it was rendered in fucking 2002.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
we know who the better developers are. That's all we know.
I agree. You see who gives a shit about their product.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Do you have any like goals that you're wanting to set out for First Ascendants, or are you kind of pretty set and you're just waiting for the new stuff?
I'm pretty set right now. I have things I am working on. I have to finish my last two pieces for Ultimate Viessa. I need 3 pieces for Ultimate Glay. Just things I haven't really pushed too hard on.
Yeah.
I need my last 5 Spiral Catalysts, and then I can create Haley.
Nice.
Which is another one that I'm working towards. I'm going to do the same type of build that I have on my Lepic because that seems to be what the push is. Yeah, I'm waiting for all the new stuff. I'm just kind of very slowly chipping away at the other things so that when I get on, I don't feel like I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as soon as I feel like I'm done, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm bored. And then I'm going to get that kind of brain rot like some other communities have when it came to this game.
Right.
So I always want to feel like when I log on, like I could be doing something. There's something that I can make forward progress on.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that I enjoy about First Ascendants, and I sit there and tell myself is like, oh yeah, no, once I reach a point I can actually like focus on my backlog of video games or give attention to another video game there. But in reality, there's always something that I could be doing. I could be all the ultimate weapons that I have. I could be trying to get them to a good place so that I can use them in particular situations, or getting one of my descendants that I do plan on using to a certain point because I know that they're going to be helpful in certain situations. So I definitely get that. I wouldn't necessarily feel bored if I completed all the tasks that I wanted to. I would just be prepping. I wouldn't spend as much time within First Ascendants as I would other games, but I definitely would be logging on every day, getting what I need, and then prepping my gold and Kuiper and other materials for the new stuff that's getting ready to drop at whatever point in time. So that whenever that stuff does drop, I don't have to spend my time grinding for that stuff. I can just spend my time grinding my characters, or grinding the missions, or grinding the new colossi that I need to take down. So that's kind of where I'm at. Because right now, like, I'm trying to get my ultimate Lepic to God Killer status, which, I mean, he's kind of already there. I just need to crystallize him 2 more times. Well, I need to get him level 40, crystallize him 2 more times, and of course 40 him out. Then I'm also working on my guns as well as Ultimate Haley, which I think I've already crystallized her twice, maybe just once. Once I get her done, there'll be Ultimate Freyna, which I'll probably hit up Ultimate Freyna before I finish out Haley, if I'm being honest. And then my Python, I have to get maxed out. Fallen Hope, I got to get maxed out. I'm also working on my Scava to get it there. Probably do Clairvoyance as well. And yeah, I'm slowly chipping away at those things, but that's because I have a good setup to where I can walk into any mission and be fine. I have a good setup to where I can walk into any Colossi battle and probably be fine. So that's why I'm not worried too much. So, like, say for instance that something happens and I just don't log on the First Ascendants at it for a while because I'm playing something else or I'm doing something else, so that but I could get back on I feel comfortable enough that I could get back on at that point whenever something new drops, that I could just grab my ultimate Viesa, hop in and go, or grab my ultimate bunny, hop in and go, and soon I'll have my ultimate weapon there as well. So that's kind of my goal, is to just get ultimate Lepic up, get my Scava back up to 40, and then ultimate Freyna, of course. Grind for her, 40 her out, crystallize her out, max her out, and then it'll be my weapons and Haley. But I'll be on Throne and Liberty. Once I get to a comfortable spot there, which I still have no idea where that'll be, um, probably hop into Starfield and try out Shattered Space, continue my Mass Effect playthrough, start Final Fantasy remake that I downloaded and never played. So I got a good backlog of stuff. So we'll see where it is. But you guys can definitely still expect more First Ascendants content. I need to get on our First Ascendants stuff that we're doing, because I know it may differ a little bit from other people. We are following scripts and manuals from other people that have already done this stuff. But we definitely want to give our take on it, and show what we've been doing and working on, because we do things a little bit different. Not a whole lot, but just enough that you guys may find it interesting. But I appreciate everyone being here tonight. I appreciate you coming back. I hope you're listening to the podcast, let your friends know. If you're not, feel free, please do that. Just let them know.
You should be. Yeah. Tell all your friends, God damn
it. But you can definitely expect us back here next week. Like I said, the numbers are looking good. That I'm excited to keep this going. Was feeling a little down there because I wasn't really sure, because I didn't have my statistics on the people who were listening. But now that I know that they are, it's pumping me up. I'm ready to get more. I need to get more content out there, because I believe that this podcast will bring this community together. I want to get the Discord up and running, because it is out there. So if you guys are wanting to check it out, it's under Hollow Descendants. Check out my page, check out the Discord. We love helping people out. I wanted to grow this community. I want this game to be the next Destiny, but better. So you guys have a good night, and I will see you next Tuesday. See you out there, Descendants.